Hey, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Bob's Transportation Podcast. I'm Alonzo Garcia, your Safety, Fleet, and Compliance Manager. And joining me again is...
Hey, Angelo Cosimo here, Senior Fleet Safety Compliance Manager and the better looking of the two.
Debatable.
Well, all right, you got me there.
Oh, I definitely got you there.
Well, you definitely have better hair.
For the most part, yeah.
I can get one of those drum rolls. That was my shot at comedy. I'm done.
We're getting better. We're getting better, and we will work
That's
on the
debatable.
comedy. Well, we're trying. We're definitely trying.
If not for comedy, what else?
Safety.
That's right.
I'll stick to comedy.
Yeah. I think I'm the more serious of the two. I'll stick to safety. You stick to comedy.
Yeah, we'll try that moving forward.
All right. Fair enough. So what's new? What's going on?
Nothing much. Same old, same old. But on my way over here today, I was running a couple minutes behind schedule, and that's never fun. As you know, I try to be as punctual as possible at all times.
Also debatable.
Quit giving away the secrets. But yeah, I apologize for being a few minutes late to the studio today, but I did see something. It was a little bit satisfying.
What's
I'll be
that?
honest.
Yeah. Tell me.
So I'm taking my time to get over here as I do, being in safety and compliance. I don't like to speed too much when I'm out on the roads, but I did notice a couple guys looked like they were racing on the highway to get over here or to wherever they were going. And they passed me doing at least 90 plus miles an hour. So I'm getting closer to my exit, and I got a little smile on my face when I saw one of them pulled over on the side of the road by a state trooper.
There you go.
You hate to see it, but sometimes you love to see it.
Play with the bull, get the horns.
Another Breakfast Club reference.
So they got pulled over, eh?
Yeah, they got pulled over. They probably got a ticket and probably got their day started off on the wrong foot, but that's their problem.
You know who's not getting speeding tickets?
Who's that?
That would be me.
Oh, really?
If you ask my wife, she'll tell you every time we're driving someplace together, she's like, "Why do you drive so slow?" She's like, "You're driving under the speed limit. You drive like an old man." I'm like, "That's the way I drive. I still have a CDL in my pocket." And then she also makes fun of me because even when we're in my tiny little car, I take turns really wide, and she's like, "What is your problem?" I'm like, "I just 20 years of having a trailer behind me. I'm still used to it." So I definitely don't speed anywhere.
Yeah, and that whole thought process of dragging a trailer behind every vehicle that you're driving, I guess, is a hard one to shake.
It is. Phil, our mechanic at DC3, he's seen my tiny little car, and then right behind it, I put that little 8-foot trailer, and he's always like, "Oh, Angelo's trucking again." My 4-cylinder car and my 4x8 trailer.
Oh, I love that trailer. It is hilarious. But I bet you it comes in handy more often than people would think.
You know what? I use it all the time. Honestly, it's easier to put stuff in there than in my pickup truck.
And I just like to think about all the smiles you give people out on the road when they see that little 4-cylinder car pulling a small trailer.
I think it's the 6-inch chrome stacks that throws everybody off in my car.
Those are definitely not factory.
Oh, God. I've seen cars like that. That's ridiculous. But, open up that 4-cylinder. Anyways, you're talking about the guy speeding past you today. And today happens to be, I saw this via Time Hop. If you don't know what Time Hop is, it's an app on your cell phone that shows you everything that you've done in the past. So it goes through your pictures and your socials and all that stuff. And it spits out, what happened in the past. And today... 2 years ago today, I went to go drive for DC3. They had a bunch of call-outs, and they needed some backup help. So I said, sure, I'll jump in a truck. Plus, it's good to get into Bob's equipment and check things out. So I drove down to Indy for the company. And I'm going through, and my mentality from 20 years of trucking was that, hurry up and get to your appointment, hurry up and get to your appointment. And then at some point, about an hour into the trip, I'm like, there is no appointment. I'm going to a depot. It's closed. I'm going to, back the trailer on the dock, hook up to an empty, bring it back. And I said, let me drive for probably the first time in my life where I wasn't under pressure to make an appointment deadline. And so I kept it a couple miles an hour under the speed limit, and I drove. And I have to tell you, it was, and this is no joke, after 2 decades of driving, eye-opening experience for me. So I'm driving, down the road, doing a couple miles an hour under the speed limit. And I said, I'm going to do this the whole shift, which, by the way, I've probably never done before in my life. But let's see how it goes. And it was so eye-opening because all the pressure went away. No stress, no pressure. I just moseying along. People get in front of me. Cool. I back off a little bit, slow down. They get in front of me again. I back off a little bit, slow down. And I just went all the way down there, all the way back. And it was probably the easiest run I've ever made. Isn't that odd?
Yeah, that's definitely, it sounds like an eye-opening experience, definitely refreshing, especially coming off of 2 decades of meeting deadlines, getting to where you need to be at X amount of time to make whatever delivery you need.
Always in a hurry. Always in a hurry. Always in a hurry. And this is the first time that I can legitimately say I didn't care about being in a hurry. I just, wanted to take things in. And it's almost like my peripheral vision expanded, because I wasn't rushing to get somewhere and worried about, everything going on, in case I catch up to somebody too fast or get into an exit ramp and or a merge ramp and people are coming in too fast. I literally had all the time in the world to make my decisions. And I loved that about that trip.
Yeah, I bet it was probably one of the easiest driving experiences you've had behind the wheel of a truck.
Easy. Super easy. Loved it.
Yeah, and I would venture to say that probably 96% of our runs are very similar to what you had that night. Yeah, sometimes there's a lot of planning that goes on behind the scenes to make all these runs and all our deliveries and all our scheduling run as efficiently as it does. I got a quick question, though. Did you generate any kind of events on the Samsara when you drove that night?
So the irony here is I thought to myself, okay, self, because that's what I call myself. If I drive tonight and I start generating events, how am I going to look to my boss? Oh, man, we just hired the safety guy, and he's going to come in here and, start blowing things up. So I said, I better be the best driver of the night. And so my score was a 99 for the day.
Yikes. Yeah. 99. Where did we lose a point?
I'd rather not say.
All right.
I don't know. I don't recall. It was 2 years ago. I don't remember. But it was a 99 for the shift. And that night we had no 100s. We did have another 99 that I tied with at the DC.
Hey, tied for first is still
so I'm calling
technically first.
That's it.
That's a win. We'll take it.
I'm taking it all day long. Driver of the night.
I guess you guys have by now figured out that the topic of today's podcast is going to be speeding behind the wheel of a commercial motor vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe we can get into this a little bit. Why don't you tell us who's coming up to talk to us? Yeah,
we have 2 guests today. Anthony and Isabel are going to do a deep dive into safe speeds behind the wheel of a commercial motor vehicle.
All right. I can't wait to hear from them. And listen, stick around all the way through. We got something for you guys at the end for those of you who are sticking with us. Ooh, it's going to be so exciting.
I can't wait.
It's not that exciting. Well, stick around anyway.
All right. We'll see you guys when they're done.
All right.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Right.
We are diving deep today into the world of commercial motor vehicles. Those massive trucks and buses.
Yeah, they're absolutely essential, aren't they? But they definitely bring unique challenges to our roads.
Exactly. And our focus is, it's sharp. The absolute necessity of maintaining safe speeds in these vehicles.
And maybe even more importantly, what happens when a CMV driver actually gets a speeding ticket? The consequences.
Right. We've gathered some really crucial insights for this deep dive.
Yeah, drawing straight from official U.S. government info, we're talking the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, the FMCSA.
And we've supplemented that, too, looking at a breakdown of the very real fallout from a CMV speeding violation.
Our mission really is to get beyond just listing the rules.
Yeah, to really grasp why they exist, understand the profound impact safe speed has on, everyone's safety.
And just as significantly, the potential career-altering consequences for the drivers themselves is huge.
This isn't just about, regulations written down somewhere.
No, it's about the actual mechanics. These powerful vehicles and the lives that depend on them being operated really highlights the fundamental physics we're dealing with here.
Physics, right.
A fully loaded commercial vehicle, it just doesn't behave anything like a passenger car. It's mass.
Huge momentum.
Right. It builds momentum so quickly, and that directly translates into, well, significantly longer stopping distance.
So it's not just about the number on the speed limit sign. It's about what the vehicle can actually do. The FMCSA sources really hammer this home. Maintaining safe speeds isn't just, compliance. It's about giving the driver the time and distance they absolutely need to react.
Think about it. An unexpected hazard.
A sudden brake light, debris, maybe a car cutting you off.
Yeah. In a CMV that's going too fast, those extra few feet, those extra seconds needed to stop.
That can be the difference. A close call versus a catastrophe.
Exactly. And speed impacts everything else too. Steering control, the risk of rollover, your ability to recover from like an unexpected swerve.
Which is why the FMCSA isn't just, setting rules and walking away.
No, they're actively promoting safe speed. Campaigns, even practical tools like visor cards.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just to keep that message right there top of mind for drivers during their whole shift. It's about embedding that safety mindset.
And their advice is practical, isn't it? Based on real-world conditions.
Totally. Always follow the speed limit. Scout your route ahead to anticipate speed changes.
And critically, slow down immediately when the weather or road conditions get bad.
It sounds simple, obvious even.
But the pressure, right, schedules, delivery times, that can make just sticking to it really challenging.
Which leads us directly into the consequences.
Okay.
Because the stakes are so incredibly high, the repercussions for a CMV driver getting a speeding ticket are generally, well, far more severe than for you or me in our personal car.
So a ticket in your big rig really hits differently than one in your sedan.
Oh, absolutely. Hits way harder. Now, the specific impact can vary a bit. Depends on whether the violation happened while driving commercially or, in their personal vehicle.
Okay.
But if you hold a commercial driver's license, a CDL, and you get ticketed in a commercial vehicle, the penalties escalate fast.
How does that work then? Is it just about points on your license, like for regular drivers?
Points are definitely a big part of it, yeah. A speeding conviction goes on your driving record, adds demerit points typically.
But there's a difference for CMVs.
Yes, here's a key difference. Some states, California for example, actually assign a higher number of points specifically for violations committed while driving a CMV.
Oh, wow.
And if you rack up too many points within a certain time, often like 1 to 3 years, that can lead to suspension.
Suspension of the CDL.
Suspension of all your driving privileges, your personal license, and your commercial license.
Wow. Losing your CDL. That means losing your job, your ability to earn a living.
Immediately. It's devastating for professional drivers.
It really is.
And it can get even more serious. The sources highlight the specific category for CDL holders called serious traffic violations.
Yeah, help me understand that. Serious traffic violation.
Yeah.
What triggers that exactly? Why is it different?
So for a CMV driver, just operating the vehicle at 15 miles per hour or more over the posted speed limit,
15 over. That's the threshold.
that automatically qualifies as a serious traffic violation. Now, you'll still face the usual fines, court fees, points.
That's standard.
But this specific type of speeding gets recorded as a serious mark against your CDL record itself. It's a separate classification.
And what happens if a driver collects more than one of those serious marks? Does it escalate?
Oh, it escalates significantly under federal law. If a CDL holder gets 2 serious traffic violations
Aye.
within a 3-year period,
2 and 3 years.
they face a mandatory CDL disqualification. At least 60 days.
60 days, no commercial driving.
Exactly. And get a 3rd serious violation within that same 3-year window.
Okay.
And that disqualification jumps to a minimum of 120 days.
4 months.
Minimum. That's months out of work, completely unable to operate commercially.
And are there state-level penalties that pile on top of that federal baseline?
Yes, absolutely. Some states add their own layers. Sometimes they classify CMV speeding violations much more harshly than the exact same speed violation in a personal car.
Like where?
Well, the source points to California again. It's a striking example. Speeding 15 miles per hour or more over the limit in a CMV. It isn't just a traffic infraction there.
No. What is it then?
It's actually considered a misdemeanor offense.
A misdemeanor. For speeding, that seems incredibly severe compared to just a regular ticket.
It is severe, and it can carry consequences way beyond a typical fine. We're talking potentially up to 6 months in jail.
Jail time.
And maybe $1,000 in fines, depending on the specific circumstances.
Wow.
And some states get even tougher with speed penalties if the CMV is carrying specific things like hazardous materials
Right.
or transporting passengers. Think a school bus full of kids. The risk profile directly dictates how severe the potential punishment is.
Okay, so just to be absolutely crystal clear on this, if a commercial driver's license gets suspended for any reason, whether it's racking up points from multiple CMV tickets or maybe even points from tickets in their personal car that hit the state suspension level,
Right.
or one of these serious traffic violation disqualifications we talked about, that suspension knocks out all their driving privileges, commercial and personal.
Precisely. That is the critical point here. The sources give examples, like in Kansas, getting just 3 speeding tickets in a single year could potentially lead to up to a 1-year license suspension.
A full year.
And in most states, hitting that points threshold or getting those mandatory disqualifications, it means the driver simply cannot legally operate any vehicle.
Which for a professional driver
Means their career is on hold or potentially, ended.
The system is clearly designed with these significant consequences because, like we discussed at the start, the risk a speeding CMV poses is just immense.
It's a direct reflection of the huge responsibility that comes with operating such a large, powerful vehicle. It has to be taken seriously.
This deep dive has really laid it bare, hasn't it? Maintaining safe speeds for CMV drivers isn't just a suggestion, not just a guideline.
No, it's a fundamental operating principle.
Backed by really stringent rules and potentially life-altering personal and professional consequences if they're ignored.
And this information is just vital for anyone involved, whether you are a professional driver and your livelihood depends on keeping that record clean.
Or maybe you manage a fleet. You're a carrier ensuring compliance.
Or even if you just share the road with these massive vehicles every single day, like most of us do.
Road safety really is a shared responsibility. Everyone plays a part.
Absolutely.
It really makes you think, though, doesn't it? Given all the complex pressures that CMV drivers often face.
Yeah, the demanding delivery schedules, the economic incentives sometimes tied to speed and efficiency.
How does that critical need for absolute adherence to safe speed limits and really all traffic laws, how does that truly balance against those very real professional demands?
It's a tough balance.
What does that inherent tension really imply about the systems, maybe the expectations, and the support we provide for these essential workers? The ones who keep our economy moving by transporting literally everything.
Well, thank you very much, Anthony and Isabella, for all that useful information.
Yeah, that was nice of them.
And you got any key takeaways from that?
Oh, so much to take away from that. But in a nutshell, I'm just going to say it does not pay to speed. It does not. So you know what does pay?
Yeah, I do. Being one of the first 2 drivers to text me to my cell phone the answer to this question: how many miles an hour over the speed limit do you have to be driving in order to get a citation for reckless driving?
Ooh, that's a good one. You are so generous.
I try to be, yeah.
That should be your middle name.
Who's to say it isn't?
Oh, AGG, we'll call you.
I'll take it.
So first 2 people to text you on your cell phone.
Yeah, make sure that you're texting these responses to my cell phone that you all have the phone number to, because you get it every Monday and every Friday on your Samsara's.
First 2 people text you. What are you giving away? Can you tell me or no? Is that a secret?
It's top secret, as always.
All right,
I'm sure the drivers know what it is, but it's still a secret.
That works. As long as you're giving something away, it keeps everybody happy, right? Everybody loves giveaways. Come on.
And I love giving stuff away.
Fair enough. All right. Well, that was a insightful look at speeding. And again, I'm Angelo, and I'm here with Alonzo, your host from Bob's Safety Department, and we will catch you on the next one.
Thank you for joining us again. Keep it safe, everybody.